Good morning and welcome to another morning business talk. My name is Satara. I am a business consultant and I have been an entrepreneur for the past 11 years. I challenge myself to go live every single day for 30 days. So I created the series of morning business talk, and at first I was going to say every morning at 6:30 in the morning, and then it became like 6:45, and then it became like right now it's 9 o'clock. So it's just morning business talk, and whenever that happens, it happens. So we're talking all the things. Today is day 8. So if you have not tuned into the last 7 lives, make sure that you do. We spoke about a lot of things, and today we are talking about how entrepreneurship is so lonely. Like it's just so lonely. Um, like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for the past 11 years, and I would say that over the course of 11 years, it does not get any less lonely. When I started my journey as an entrepreneur, I was 23 years old. And I started by way of starting a nonprofit. And I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to do the right thing. But I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have like a big bro or a big sis showing me the way. And that came with so many different challenges. Just navigating the whole nonprofit world is different than anything else. And, creating programs and then like the whole funding part in itself is just it's a new world. And I have a background in law enforcement, and that's just totally different than the nonprofit scene. Um, But I would say that over the years, and now I'm a full time consultant, so I work with women business owners who are looking to grow their businesses either on the operational side or through marketing and communications. And I am also the founder of the Girl Boss, excuse me, the Girl Boss brand community, which is launching very, very, very soon. If you're interested, make sure you comment below and we'll send you the link to get on the wait list, which the wait list is closing soon. And I say all that to say that I'm launching a community because I had to navigate entrepreneurship, the highs, the lows, the ups, the downs, everything by myself. And it would have been very helpful if I had a community. It would have been really helpful if I had a mentor. It would have been helpful if I even had a consultant, right? Or a business coach, whatever you want to call it. It would have been helpful if I had someone else because it has been extremely lonely. Um, I have a bunch of friends. Some are entrepreneurs in different industries. So it's cool because we could like talk and chat about different things and we get it. But, you know, they're also battling their own battles, right? But when it comes down to like having a core group or a mentor, I just don't have it. And as I'm talking right now, I'm thinking like, I feel like I need a mentor right now. Like 11 years in, 6 years with my consulting business, I feel like I need a mentor right now so that I can get to that next level. Because right now, I am driving the boat, I'm leading the ship. I just hired earlier this year, I hired 1, 2, 4 staff. So we're growing, right? But there's also a whole bunch of growing pains that I don't want to say that I didn't anticipate or I wasn't expecting, or that, I don't know if it's just that I was hoping that things would have been a lot more smoother in terms of just like clients and contracts and cash flow and all of those things, right? Um, I'm laughing because it's just like, I got out of the nonprofit field, and during my journey as a nonprofit leader, there was a lot of cash flow challenges because a lot of the grants that we had, I had to put the money out and then receive it on the back end. And like when you're chasing people for your money, it's just like a never ending thing, right? And now I thought that like that part of my life was done. But now, like with having clients and contracts and ending contracts early and things of that sort and waiting for payment, not getting payment, all of these things, it's like giving me nonprofit vibes. And I'm just like, how did we get here? Like, how did we get here? Everything was planned out. Everything was, but you know, a friend of mine always told me, if it's not in your account, you don't got it. If it's not in your account, you don't got it. It doesn't matter if it's on paper. If it's not in your account, you do not have it. So all of the things, all of the things, all of the things. So um I literally have gone through so much through entrepreneurship, and my mom, she passed away 2 years ago, but she became the executive director of my nonprofit when she was alive. And every couple of years I would take a vacation. No, not every couple of years, like every couple of months I would take a vacation. And my mom's like, you're like just on vacation while your staff is here working hard and you just do nothing. That was when my mom was a program director. When she became the executive director, she was like, oh my God, I didn't realize that you did all of this work behind the scenes. And with entrepreneurship, it's a lot of work that gets done behind the scenes that nobody sees, nobody knows about. And these things are essential just to keep the boat going, right? It's like you have to do so many different things just to show up every day with a smile, without a smile, that people don't even know. From inventory, from finances, from marketing, from keeping things together on your back end, from reporting, from everything, you know. And it's just, I feel like online they show you all the glitz and the glamour about entrepreneurship. When you go full time, you're going to have your first 10K month. Like, no, baby girl, that is not the reality. And I think that it's just so hard to like communicate the challenges that you're having through entrepreneurship with anyone. And this is why I created the community, which is launching sometime next month. If you want free access, just comment below and I'll send you the link. You'll get a month free. But I remember when I went full time on entrepreneurship, my dad was like, you need to work a full time job while you're doing this entrepreneurship thing. And I'm like, I've done that for the past 10 years and it has gotten me far, but I'm burnt out. I can't do that anymore. You know, this 34-year-old body, which I'm still young, but I'm not 23 no more. I can't stay up all night. I can't be pulling the all-nighters and up for days, juggling a job and my nonprofit, juggling a job and entrepreneurship. So my risk of going full time on entrepreneurship is something new to my family. So I can't talk to my family members about it. They don't get it. They want me to have financial stability. And if you're an entrepreneur, you know that like when you take that leap and you bet on yourself, that there's going to be a period of time of instability, right? You're not going to jump off the back and have that 10K month. Like that's just not reality. Social media is not real. That's not really happening for most people. So, you know, you don't have anyone to talk to. You have no shoulder to lean on in entrepreneurship. Your friends, they're probably like 9 to 5ers that get that check no matter what they do, you know, especially if they're government workers, right? They're definitely getting that check no matter what. And you're just out here and it seems like you're willy-nillying it when it comes to entrepreneurship, but they don't see those late nights. They don't see, you know, that business planning. They don't see the strategy. They don't see all that you're doing. It just seems like you're wishing on a star without putting in work. And entrepreneurship is just like, I wish that there was a space that you can get all the resources, right? Like, this is how you start your LLC. This is what kind of bank account you should get if you're looking for business funding. This is what you should do for marketing so that you don't have to pay anyone, because we already don't have any money, right? Like we're entrepreneurships. We don't have no old money. Daddy is not funding this dream. We are literally hustling and making it happen. I remember when I sold $50,000 worth of, I wish I had them next to me, t-shirts, right? I had crew necks and I had t-shirts. The t-shirts, It literally had Girl Boss on it. That's my brand, Girl Boss. $25. The crew neck's $35. I started with like $200 worth of merch. And then I just kept flipping it and flipping it and flipping it and flipping it. And that $200 I invested from working, right? I've been an entrepreneur working full time, part time, doing entrepreneurship, having my consulting business, as well as having a nonprofit. And it's just been like, nobody sees all of the sacrifices that I have made. And I don't even want a pat on the back. Like, I don't even want someone to say, job well done. I just want to feel seen and I want to feel heard and I want to feel like I want a community. I want to be around people who get it, right? And even when I made the shift from working in corporate to just doing full-time entrepreneurship, it's like, why would you leave a job that's paying you $100,000? Because I'm an entrepreneur. It doesn't matter what job I have, I'm going to quit it. I will be really good at my job, but I am always going to be fiending to do entrepreneurship. And when I'm done at work with my work, I'm going to start working on my business. So I just felt like, what's the point of continuing, one, to cheat myself by putting so much energy into a 9 to 5, and two, I'm wasting the business's time at this point because I know I'm not staying here. I'm not retiring from here. And entrepreneurship is on my mind. And the only reason why I have this job is for financial stability. And in this day and age, what is financial stability? How many women have been laid off this year? How many people in general have been laid off? You know, we had COVID, and now like we're seeing all of these layoffs, even in government, even in hospitals. There's no such thing as stability. So it's time for us to really put our energy. I would say it's time for us to make our exit plan. It is literally time for us to make our exit plan. And entrepreneurship is the thing, because if you are relying on a company, a corporation, a government agency, we even see government agencies, I mean, not agencies, departments doing layoffs. And that's like unheard of, right? It's not unheard of, but it's less common. So if you're going to put your fate for your family, for yourself, for your finances in a company that can just say goodbye tomorrow, why wouldn't you just put all of that into entrepreneurship? And the community that I'm creating is giving the tools, giving the resources so that you can build this empire through your entrepreneurship the proper way, right? We talk about funding. I have contacts with banks. So if you need to get loans and things of that sort, everything that you need to know, so from start to finish. If you want to invest, right? Like when we're talking about retirement and things like that, just all of the game that I wish that someone else gave to me that would have made my journey a little less lonely. And even now, it's still lonely, right? But I just feel like I'm reaching new heights and new levels. Maybe it's time for me to start tapping in more with my homegirls who are at similar levels that I'm at in entrepreneurship. And it's funny because we're all so busy. Like when you're an entrepreneur, it's kind of like, what do I prioritize? What can wait? What can I put on the back burner? What is an immediate thing? What fire do we need to put out? And, you know, I created this community because I also don't want us to always be putting fires out. With my nonprofit, I put so many fires out that I ended up getting sued for $30,000 by, I think it was $20,000 by the county. Like, who gets sued by the county? I definitely got sued by the county because, and that was a fire that needed to be put out because I was so busy focused on the immediate things that needed to get done in the business that the paperwork was on the back end. So I didn't complete the proper paperwork and the long amount of time that they gave me because it was just fire after fire after fire. And if you are an entrepreneur, you know that it seems like there's always fires to put out every single day. Once you put one out, it seems like there's another that comes about. And like, I ended up getting sued. And as I'm saying, entrepreneurship is lonely. I have made a lot of connections on the way. So thankfully, the law firm that I used to work for represented me, and we handled things. I didn't have to pay the money back, and everything was accounted for. But it all goes back to just like entrepreneurship, being lonely, you wanting to make hires in your business when you're not financially ready, and how to navigate that and what that actually looks like based off of what your goals are. So, if you are interested in joining the community, I would definitely comment below so I could send you the link. The Girl Boss brand community is launching next month, and you'll get free access just to pop in to see the resources that we have. We'll be going live once a week. There'll be Q&A. It will be business owners from all across the world, in all different fields. And it's so great to talk with women who are in different fields, because it's like we all go through the same stuff. We all have the same struggles. I don't know if you're on Threads, but I'm on Threads, and I be hearing I be reading the things that the women be saying, and it'd be like they're yoga instructors or they're in I don't know, business financing. And it's just like we all go through the same challenges through entrepreneurship, and we just need a community. Sometimes we might even need a midday cry session. Let us know all your pain points, because it just seems like entrepreneurship seems like you're the only person that's going through it, when it's a million other people literally going through the same exact thing. And then don't get on social media, because when you get on social media, people are only showing their wins, and you don't know what it took for them to get to that win. You don't even know if that win is real, right? But in this community that I'm creating, it's just real talk, real strategies, real resources. I did a workshop 2 weeks ago, a marketing workshop for women business owners in person, and it was only 30 minutes, but I gave them so many tangible resources. I gave them this whole library, which I think we're going to share in the community eventually. But I'm a marketing consultant. I know that everyone cannot afford a marketing consultant, right? I never hired a consultant because I could never afford one, right? But there are things that you can do on your own to enhance your own marketing in your business. Don't let people tell you that you can't do things on your own, or there's strategies that you can't implement to make things better, and that you just have to hire. It's unrealistic to think that all we can do is just hire a bunch of people, because where's that money coming from? And then truth is, a lot of times with entrepreneurship, we hire and then we're not paying ourselves, right? So how are we living, right? We quit our job. We got but so much inventory. We got to sell the inventory, right? And then before we sell the inventory, we got to market the inventory. Then we got to run all of our social media. We got to get our email list together, right? Because they say if you have 1,000 people on your email list, that's a 6-figure business. But we get our emails, and what are we doing with them? I started an email funnel, and then what happened after that, right? So we're doing all of these different things, and it's just unrealistic to think that I'm just going to hire all of these people and everything's going to be great, because then you're going to be putting out so much money and not having the cash flow to support that. So, we're going to talk about all these things in the community and help you set you up so that you can make that next hire, so that you are prepared when you do make that hire, to even identify what hire you need to make, right? Do you know what an SOP is? A standard operating procedure. There's so many things that you need to do on the back end of your business before you can even bring an intern on or anything else. And interns are good to talk about as well too, because maybe you need assistance in marketing, communication, social media. You better get yourself an intern for free. Even if you're changing interns every semester, every year, get yourself an intern, and I bet you that will take the weight off of you. But how are you going to manage that intern, right? That's why we need SOPs, right? Standard operating procedures. So these are all of the things that I didn't know about. I just learned about a SOP 3 years ago. Girl, how have you been in the nonprofit? I always say nonprofit. How have you been an entrepreneur for 11 years and you just now know what an SOP is? So there's so many jewels, gems, and things that I have learned along the way that I want to just be able to share with people so that I can see people do better than I did. You know, it took me a long time to get where I'm at, and it took a lot of trials and tribulations. I did a poor business deal where I lost over $50,000. And that's because I didn't properly vet the business partners that I was going to have. And this happened 4 years ago, and I'm still like financially recovering from it. Right. So I started this community so that people can learn from my mistakes, so that you can ask those hard questions, and things might seem good and nice. And when you're in excuse me, when you're in entrepreneurship and it's already lonely, and then you find like, oh, I found this great person, it's like a light bulb went off. But it's also like, how do you know that that person does what they say they did? You have to do your homework. And if you join the community, if you're interested in joining the community, comment in the chat and I'll send you a free link. We're launching next month. If you said you wanted an accountability partner, join the community. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice today, but how do you know that that person is who they say they are? Like, did you do a quick Google search? Did you dive deep in? Bring that information to the community, and I'm telling you, we will do it. We will FBI. Women. We will be like that team, and that support system that you need, so that that vetting process is different. So whatever you're going through with your business that you can't talk to your friends about, even if you could talk to your friends about it, your friends can't give you no advice because they not entrepreneurs. You can't talk to your parents about it because they don't have no businesses, or maybe they like my dad. They started a bunch of businesses and they didn't really go anywhere, and you're trying to break that generational curse. So you need to talk to people with a different mindset. You need to talk to people who are business savvy. A lot of people are entrepreneurs and they don't understand the business side of it. So they're just, used to hustle culture, and they're just hustle, 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 hustle. No, you have to. I love that grind and hustle, but you have to know the business side when we're talking about, checks and balances and how to maneuver and how to navigate certain things, even in terms of bank accounts, contracts, things of that sort. So, I've been wanting to create a community for, I would say, like 6 years now. And now I'm just going all in on it because it's so needed. It's time. And it also helps me, like doing these lives every day. My podcast, the Girl Boss Brand podcast, it holds me accountable for how I am supposed to show up in business. I didn't have no business going into business with someone who ain't have no business. And it cost me $50,000. It was a hard lesson. I opened an art studio with like a production company. They didn't have no money. They didn't have no money. They didn't have no anything. And after I got to a certain amount, I put down $12,000 to get the place. I did the build out all of the renovations. I bought the equipment, right? And 4 months in, I had to make that decision. I was like, nah, I'm out of here. Like, I got to cut my losses now because these are some big losses that I cannot afford. So I just got to take my losses now, cut my losses. And if I knew what I know now, back then, I would have never done that deal. If I was around the people that I'm around now, instead of who I was around back then, I would have went to them and I would have, asked them for their advice and stuff like that. Or if I even had the community, I would have been like, the community is a space to say, hey, look, this is what's on the table. This is what I'm doing. And I bet you the girls would have been like, yeah, no, you're wishing on a star and this does not sound like a good business deal. And that's okay, right? Because a lot of times when we're entrepreneurs, we just see the lights and the good, and we don't have a lot of help. We don't have a lot of people. Entrepreneurship is like the loneliest thing. So when we meet someone who's like kind of talking that language, we gravitate towards them, and we kind of gloss over and see through, like, we put the BS to the side and we overlook it. So, there's a lot of things that we can avoid when it comes to entrepreneurship if we just had the right guidance. And online, there's so much information. There's so much information online, but it's like, how do I know what information is viable? How do I know what information I should actually follow, right? Because anyone could post anything. I remember during COVID, I don't know if people still do this, but like people were like posting how much sales they had and stuff like that. So I thought that was like the thing to do. So like I would like do that. But then I was like, people can inflate these numbers. Like just because they posted a screenshot, that doesn't mean that it's real. Like it doesn't mean that it's real. So it's like we are all chasing like this facade of this entrepreneur life that other people are living when we don't even know that it's true. And for me, my lived experiences, I feel like I have lived so many lives. I worked in corporate, I worked in law enforcement, I worked at a law firm, I worked at a hospital. I worked at so many different places and I have so much different experiences, which all like go back and translate to what I do as an entrepreneur, the connections that I've made, how relationships are so important that I just want to share that knowledge. And that's why I created the Girl Boss community that is launching next month. You can get early access for free if you comment below. I'll send you the link. I was going to say something else. I forgot what I was going to say. But even in terms of like myths about business funding, you are not going to open an LLC and then all of a sudden everyone's going to want to give you funding. That is absolutely not going to happen. And it's so interesting because I just met with a VP of a bank yesterday who I would love to have come in and talk to the community and really walk you through that process of what business funding looks like for an LLC, right? How are we even getting from entrepreneurship idea to LLC? I see a lot of people who are like, oh, I have a DBA. No, you can't operate off of a DBA. And if you need some help getting an LLC, comment below and I'll send you some information on that as well too. There's so much misinformation out there in terms of entrepreneurship, business, and we just get caught up, like even in terms of like putting money aside for taxes, right? Websites, Shopify, cash businesses, all of those things. And so I'm tired of doing it alone. So I am showing up as my authentic self. I am spilling all of my tea, whether it's on these lives, whether it's in my podcast, the Girl Boss Brand podcast, or whether it's in the community, the Girl Boss brand community that's launching next month. I am just giving the raw, my raw story, and I'm sharing what going full-time in entrepreneurship last year looks like for me. And I just want to be overly transparent because you can do it, but it's not going to be easy. And there's a lot, you'll never be ready to be a full-time entrepreneur. Like people say, oh, you need to have 8 months worth of, it doesn't matter what you do. It's never going to be enough. And if you just wait because you're like basing your life on someone else's, you'll never get started. So you have to take that leap. And yes, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to cut out going out. You're going to have to cut out eating out. You're going to have to cut out all your subscriptions for Netflix and Hulu and all whatever else, Stars. And you're also going to have to change your daily habits, right? Like you cannot spend so much time binge watching TV, scrolling on the internet. There's just so many things that you can't do anymore as an entrepreneur. And accountability is one of the biggest things. We lack accountability with entrepreneurship because there's so much flexibility. No one knows what you're doing, right? And you could do nothing all day, but guess what? God knows, your business knows, and you know. And with the Girl Boss community, that is your built-in accountability. I don't even want to say accountability partner, accountability group, because this community is literally for you. If you're that entrepreneur that is entrepreneuring by yourself, like it doesn't even matter what stage you're at, but I promise you, you will elevate by being in this group, because this space is literally that space that will keep you engaged, keep you excited, will provide you with the resources that you need to go further. When you have roadblocks, it's the place to be. There's chat options, and you'll just meet so many different people. And there won't be a resource that you need that we don't have. And if we don't have it, that we won't be able to find. So entrepreneurship is very, very lonely, but it does not have to be lonely anymore. Make sure you comment below so I can send you the link to join the Girl Boss brand community. We are launching next month, right in time for Q4, which starts October 1st. So all of the things that you wanted to accomplish in your business for 2026 that you may have not gotten to yet, it's time to lock in with us. So we'll see you in the community. Make sure you comment below so I can send you the link.